and talk about a breakout weekend for Elizabeth Elliott. A career-high 24 points, 11 rebounds for a double-double last night against Arizona State. She matches it up today, 19 points, 15 rebounds. What a weekend for her.
And this is someone who is, she's been waiting her time. She was an all WCC freshman selection a couple of years ago in 2022, and she's only been averaging around 10.8 points this season, really getting into it now.
Inbound to Tucker. Pass comes to Nelson with 25 seconds to go, down by 7. Nelson up, draws the foul. She'll head to the line. As Deaton will pick up the foul, it's her second. And Aaliyah Nelson, who is 4 for 4 from the line today, will get to shoot 2. Could make it a 5-point game with 23 seconds to go should she make both. So we get a quick mop-up of the floor. Nelson makes her first. Now a perfect 5 for 5 on the day. Her second good as well. 5-point game, 23 seconds to go, and Pacific will take a timeout, which will leave each team with just one timeout to go with 23.2. If you're Temple, what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to force a shot? Are you trying just to get a jump ball? The possession arrow does favor them right now.
I mean, it's 23.2 seconds. They take the timeout, so they're going to be able to advance the ball. At this point, you're fouling. It's as soon as the ball comes in, you're fouling. You're hoping it's not one of your players who has 4 fouls. And the only one on the floor right now is Rain Tucker, so you could go to our East, Tariana Gary, Melina, Nelson, anybody else to take that foul, but you're fouling. That's the only thing you can do to stop the clock, hope that they maybe miss it, and you have to fight to get the board.
You said it. Out there for Temple. Nelson, Melina, Tucker, Gary, and East. And Tucker out there with 4 fouls. As Deaton, James, Holmberg, Elliott, and Smith will be out there for Pacific. James is playing out there with 4 fouls as well.
And, I mean, regardless of the result here, this has been a tremendous effort from Temple in this quarter alone. 25 points in this quarter. They fought to come back from being down by double digits at many different points throughout this game. So just tremendous work here fighting for them.
1 point, Pacific led by 16. It is now a 5-point game with 23 seconds to go. Inbound to Holmberg, and she's fouled by East.
And now the game is just hope they miss a couple of free throws, get rebounds, push it up the court very quickly. 21 seconds. It's not necessarily the clock in Temple's favor. Crazier things have happened somewhere, I'm sure. But you have to be able to capitalize, and Temple hasn't really been able to do that super well throughout this game.
Holmberg 2 for 4 from the line today, as Ennis will come into the game and Elliott will take a seat. First free throw's good. Make it a 6-point game. As Holmberg, this will be her second. Perfect. 2 for 2 on the line. Got the job done, and it's a 7-point game. So here comes Nelson. Gonna drive. Nelson puts it up with the right hand and gets it to fall. 5-point game with under 14 to go, and a timeout is called by Pacific. So same thing, Tia. Take us back, I don't know, 10 seconds. And
Yep.
Inbound for Pacific.
I would say a similar thing now. It looked like maybe Temple wasn't looking to foul. I mean, Inez Piper was the one who was defending immediately off the inbound. She didn't foul. I'm sure she's aware that she has 4 fouls and probably wants to try to fight and play as intensive defense as she can without having to be forced out of this game. I mean, it's 12 seconds. It's 5 points. It's going to be really, really tough regardless of how well Temple may play in these last 12 seconds to close that gap for them.
79-74 Pacific, as they'll inbound from the near sideline. As they're still chatting things over. Temple ready to go. All of their players out there on the floor.
And I don't believe, because the timeout was called after the ball was inbounded, I don't believe it'll advance it up the floor. They will redo the inbound still in the backcourt. As you see, all of Temple's players are gathered in the backcourt ready to put on this full court press.
Pacific taking every second they can to talk it over in the huddle, make sure there's a clean exchange of the basketball here.
And now, like we've seen, 21 turnovers for Pacific in this game. They have not been anything remotely close to clean here. So it's not outlandish to think that Temple might be going for a turnover, poke a ball away, take it out of someone's hand, steal it from someone dribbling, because they've been able to do it all afternoon.
Piper and East both going to be out there for Temple with 4 fouls to their name. And we're ready to go with 12.8 seconds to go. James will be the one to inbound it. And James looking for an option. She finds one indeed. No, it's poked away by East. Piper, three-pointer. Gary, yes! Gary knocks it down. It's a 2-point game with 7 seconds to go.
And trying to figure out what happened here.
I think Pacific called a timeout that they don't have.
Yes, they did. Bradley Davis, he did call timeout.
He immediately went to the ground. He knew what he did. It's a coaching error. Bradley Davis just called timeout. Pacific didn't have a timeout to take.
He was looking to try to advance the ball because that press came on incredibly quick from Temple. He just wanted to advance the ball and give his team a chance. Instead, he calls a timeout his team doesn't have, and Aaliyah Nelson is shooting 2 technical shots. And Ben, 30 seconds were left in this game, and Temple trailed by, 5, 7, and now they have a chance to tie it here.
Nelson's first is good. Now 7 for 7 from the line. She has a chance to tie it, her 8th free throw of the game. It goes off the front of the rim. It's a 1-point game. It's Temple's.
It looks like it'll be Pacific
basketball. They don't get possession as well. They get the 2 shots. Wow.
Wow, Aaliyah Nelson has been perfect at just when she needed to. Could not get that final free throw. But this defense has been outstanding for Temple thus far. We saw them do it on that last play with the press. And even then, if you do foul and they go down and take 2 free throws and make both of them, you can come back in the other direction and shoot a 3.
Unbelievable, Tia.
The only thing that needs to happen, however, 7 seconds on the clock, you have to. If the ball is not tipped away immediately off of the inbounds, it is an immediate foul, even if it means sacrificing Piper, Tucker, or East. You have to get that foul off.
With 32 seconds to go, Pacific was up by 7. It is now a 1-point game with 7 seconds to go. So now neither team has any timeouts left. Pacific will inbound the basketball. Both teams are in the bonus.
And this has been some pretty incredible basketball to watch, Ben, here on a Saturday afternoon, sitting at Arizona State University.
And it goes down as a 6-0 run for Temple in the last 7 seconds, Tia.
Oh, it is Temple basketball. So they will get possession.
Nelson gets to inbound. And it's blocked. She gets it back. Nelson turning. The shot is up. It's off the side. And the rebound to James, and she'll run it out. Temple that close to overcoming a 7-point deficit in the last 30 seconds. But Pacific able to survive and get victory number 5 of the year. What an incredible finish to the final game of the Beyond January Classic here at ASU.
That was extremely tight. And that is a real credit to Temple, a team that came in this weekend 2-4. They weren't exactly the strongest. They were struggling a little bit, certainly, and you're playing a really strong WCC team, a team picked to finish third in a conference that is one of the top mid-major conferences when it comes to women's basketball, especially with Gonzaga at top. So to be able to come in and fight the way they did, you still come away with one win, and you can take this confidence back east with you into the rest of your season. It's a loss, but there is positives to take away from Temple.
And if anyone survived there, it was Bradley Davis with a terrible coaching error down the stretch, calling a timeout he doesn't have, gives Temple 2 free throws and possession. Aaliyah Nelson would go 1 for 2 from the line, missed the chance to tie it. She had a chance for one more shot as time expired, but she couldn't get it to fall. And Pacific pulls away with a 79-78 victory. And joining us now is Liz Smith, another terrific performance tonight for Pacific. 21 points, 4 for 4 from the line. She's standing by with Alexis Davis.